You know, I don't think I've ever seen something quite like The Last of Us Part 2. It's a game that, regardless how you feel about it, split the fan base of the first game right down the middle. You had people that thought it was a brilliant stroke of writing, pushing the limits of anger, hatred, and revenge, and then you had people like myself who thought it was lazy, contrived, doing a massive disservice to one of gaming's most beloved heroes along the way, and all of it was packaged during a time when the world was being shook to its core by an unspecified virus of unknown origin. Part 2 went down as one of the biggest controversies in gaming, a subject that until recently still had people adamantly fighting over it despite it releasing half a decade ago. But then something truly shocking came out of nowhere in the form of a second season of The Last of Us show, which explored that same controversial game, except instead of continuing to split the fan base even further, it united all of us with just how horrible it was. How exactly do you make one of the biggest controversial games of all time even more controversial? Well, we're going to go over that in this video. 3 things HBO fucked up in The Last of Us Part 2. Let's talk about it. Real quick, before I get into this, I want to thank everyone for their unrelenting support of the episode breakdown series I've done since the season started. Truth be told, if you go back and watch that first video, I was unsure if I even wanted to do it, because reliving the moments from the second game was something I just didn't want to do. But the amount of you wanting to see something unique instead of non-stop, nonsensical, but very much warranted bashing it seemed the rest of YouTube was doing convinced me to do the whole season. You wanted to see the show compared right up against the same moments in its game counterpart and the differences explored. And well, if you're new around here, I'll put the entire playlist at the end of this video and lay out some quick ground rules. Everything I have to say is an open discussion. I don't believe in holding or deleting comments, so all moderation is turned off, and you've got a platform here to air your opinion. Across 7 videos, nearly 75,000 views, and 3,000 comments, I've responded to any and everyone, and we've either found some middle ground or we agreed to disagree. So, say what you want, just attack the opinion, not the person. With that being said, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Every little bit helps us smaller content creators. Thank you in advance. Let's get into this.
Whoa, whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
It's tough to nail down just 3 things that HBO's The Last of Us did wrong, because there were so many, both big and small. But since I have to name only 3, my biggest one is going to be Ellie, and just how much they changed her character. See, if The Last of Us Part 2 is anything, it's a story of hatred and vengeance, and the cost that takes on a central person, subsequently spreading to everyone around them and affecting their entire environment. The Ellie in the game very much understood this, having to constantly be grounded by Dina in multiple moments as to not let her anger get the best of her, risking both of their lives in the process.
I made her talk. It's okay.
In the show, though, pretty much all this shit is gone, and it's replaced with quirky jokes, talking loud as all hell in the middle of post-apocalyptic streets, going back and forth about baby names, and just being a general teen soap opera. Newsflash, Neil, we don't give a fuck about any of this shit. Joel just died, and we want to see Ellie on the warpath.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way.
Speaking of being on the warpath, it seemed like the writers were on one too, because instead of making Ellie rash but charming and charismatic, they decided to make her an insufferable dickhead, stripping away all of her characterizations that made her likable in the first place. Do you want to see Ellie step all over Joel in the most cringe-inducing way?
You swore.
Do you want to see Ellie take on men twice her size and strength, yet somehow always come out on top?
Boom, motherfucker.
Do you want to see her treat every single male in the show like absolute shit, despite them trying to do everything they can to help her?
I'd come with you, but I caught some friendly fire on New Year's Day.
I'm sure it was friendly.
Well, do I have news for you? Watch the second season of the show. See, Ellie in the game had moments like this as well. Sure, she's still a very young woman adjusting to the world around her with a flurry of emotions affecting already dire circumstances, but never once did she come across unjustified in her actions. Sure, you may have disagreed with how she felt or how she handled the situation, but it was always understandable from a certain angle and helped us, the players to see things through her eyes. But in the show, shit. About halfway through the season, I was hoping the writers were going to pull a fast one and just kill her off already.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Well, I'm about halfway through writing this video, dear viewer, and I just realized something. There's no way I'm going to be able to go over all 3 things the show fucked up all in just one video because the damn thing would be over 20 minutes long, and nobody wants to sit and listen to my ass talk for that long. Or maybe some of you do. If you're one of those people, you probably need to be medicated just like I do. So, I'll tell you what. I'll release a video going over the 2 other reasons separately tomorrow and Wednesday. I just feel like in order to do all of this properly, I need to explain everything as much as I can. That does the game justice, and above all else, it does y'all justice. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Subscribe and check back here at the same time tomorrow and Wednesday for the other analysis videos. My biggest issue was the central theme of it all. Sure, anger, resentment, and revenge was always the driving narrative point, but anyone with 2 eyes and a double-digit IQ could draw comparisons between the 2 games and its characters. With Joel now dead, it's up to Ellie to carry on his legacy, his teachings, and his mindset, something the game perfectly illustrated by having her act nearly identical to him in every single way. She was a force of nature, void of any and all emotionality, fixated on the task in front of her and willing to kill anyone that got in her way. Very much like the man who mentored her. It was up to Dina, acting very similarly to Ellie in the first game, to help ground her, to pull her back from the cliff that she was teetering on that would undoubtedly see her succumbing to the madness within.
It's for good luck. I don't believe in luck. I do.
But nope, the show threw all that shit out the window. Instead, we got an Ellie that's dumb as fuck, doesn't know how to approach situations tactically, opting to use her immunity as invulnerability, and somehow, someway, in some Willy Wonka backward-ass world, doesn't even know how to triangulate a position on a map. I don't think I've ever seen a show so hell-bent on making another girl boss that can do any and everything, yet simultaneously make her as dumb as a box of potatoes. You will also never convince me that Bella Ramsey was the right choice for Ellie. Yeah, I know we're back to this shit again, and I can already hear all the shills screaming, "You're just mad she's not attractive," even though I haven't said a single fucking thing about her looks this entire video series. The truth of the matter is, despite Ramsey being a pretty good, likable person off-screen, she just doesn't have the acting chops for this character. Being Ellie demands emotional range. It demands gravitas and charisma, something that Ashley Johnson will go down in video game history for because she pulled it off so well.
Come here. Fucking get over here!
Point to where she is on this map. And then you... It better fucking match up.
Ramsey, on the other hand, has one of 2 faces. Her angry face and her lifeless, vacant, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here face. I mean, seriously, go back and watch the scene between her and Dina in that alleyway. You know, where Dina has to remind Ellie that she's out for revenge, which is literally the polar opposite of the game.
Whatever reason Joel gave those people to do what they did, he didn't deserve that.
Anyway, while Dina is pouring her heart out in a very emotional monologue about what happened to her family, there's Ramsey just staring at her like she's thinking about the handful of rocks she's going to be chewing on later, because the writers turned her into a bumbling idiot.
You could do so. You do.
None of what she does is believable on screen, making her seem arrogant and unlikable when she's trying to be intimidating, and cringe and laughable when she's trying to be charming. It just comes across as jarring, like she's trying to be something she's not, and it makes for some truly grating conversational scenes.
I'm gonna be a dad.
My blood pressure is hitting an all-time high just by talking about this shit all over again. And the thing is, this is only one of 3 ways HBO fucked the show up. I've still got 2 more of these damn videos to do. It's gonna take everything I have not to punch a hole through my fucking tablet. Anyway, if you got anything to add, anything that I undoubtedly missed in an attempt to cut this video's time down, please let me know in the comments down below. The best thing about doing these videos is hearing from the very passionate fan base these games have. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for checking out my video. I'll talk to y'all later.